Okay guys, Paperboy back at you. Thanks for tuning in again. Whoa, the last time I did a video, I think I called it bad weather bad weather lesson. Anyway, by the time you're seeing this one, that video will have been over a week old, because I only upload and edit videos on the weekends when I'm home. So just wanted to start off the week. This is my first video of the week, following the bad weather week. Whew, I'm kind of glad to get back out on the road and get that storm behind us. I will say that since I made that video when we had all that snow, Maverick sent out a message that they were paying. I don't still have the message. I've already deleted it, but basically, they did some sort of a guaranteed pay thing, which is good. I greatly appreciate that. So there's another good thing about Maverick. They're trying to take care of us. And as it applies to me, since I went out and delivered a load and picked up a load and then deliver that load, I think my guaranteed pay for that will be $750, which is probably at least double what I would have had just for the miles I had driven. So that's a good thing. I appreciate it. So thank you, Maverick people. So anyway, today's Sunday. It's about almost dark here. I went from the Maverick North Little Rock yard. I'm headed to Springfield, Missouri. Got to deliver this load of lumber in the morning. I'll probably get there about 7:30. But I stopped at this little place called Wild Bill's Travel Center. It's about the only place on the whole stretch of road from North Little Rock straight up Highway 65, from Conway up to Springfield, so it's right here at the Missouri-Arkansas line. It's kind of a small little place. I've stayed here a couple of times before. So if you ever stop here, I will tell you, they do have a couple of showers, and they're only $5 a piece. If you fill up, they're free, but being with Maverick, we're not authorized to get fuel here, I don't think. So it'd have to be an emergency situation where you'd buy fuel and get reimbursed. But I just wanted to say that their showers, even though they're $5, they are very tiny. It's probably the tiniest shower I've seen so far. Barely enough room. I mean, I'm talking about the whole bathroom. Barely enough room to turn around and do any kind of movements. But hey, if you're desperate for a shower for $5, I'll take it. And I have done it before. Oh, let's see. I think I promised you last time that I was going to talk a little bit about, the trainer truck. Now, I haven't really thought that out a whole lot yet, but let's just start by saying, your time on the trainer truck, kind of approach that as, it's kind of like boot camp. It's just something you got to get through. Or, summer 2-a-day football practices, if you played football in high school. It's just something you got to do to get to the end. Mine wasn't that bad, really. I guess it kind of depends on your trainer. But I'm not going to go into that whole thing right now. I'll try to finish it up tomorrow. But just, when you get to that point, you've done your training and they're about to assign you a trainer, the trainer might live close to you, or he might live a couple hours away, so you'll have to, he or she will probably call you and work out a time for you to meet. You may be able to meet at a Maverick yard, you may have to meet at their house, or I've even met and parked at a hotel and stayed a night at a hotel and then drove to the trainer's house, but as trainers, they're set up to work with you and get you where you need to be, you know. So just, you know, let them do that. But go into it with a good attitude, and remember that, you know, you're a guest on their truck. You know, these guys that sign up to be trainers, they do make extra money training you, but it's not a lot, you know, and they're sharing their truck with you. So remember that, you know, you're a guest in their truck. Talk to them about what you need to bring, you know, food, clothing, bedding, anything they expect of you while you're on the truck. You know, just talk it out with them, and try to learn as much as you can. Ask questions, and make sure that throughout your 2 or 3 week period while you're there, make sure you get plenty of backing practice. Because like I said in some previous videos, you know, I've known people that didn't feel like they got enough backing practice when they were with their trainer. So I'm just going to leave it there for now, and then I'll talk some more about that maybe tomorrow. So I'm out for now. Okay, folks, thanks for tuning in. I think where I left it last, we had started talking about the trainer truck. And since then, I've made my delivery in Springfield, Missouri. And then they sent me about 50 miles down the road to Lebanon, Missouri, to a Tracker boat place. And I'm waiting in line to get loaded. Not sure how long it's going to take, so I thought I'd do a little video. I've picked up at a Tracker place not far from here. I think it was in Bolivar, Missouri. You know, I've hauled pontoon boats from there, I think twice. This place is a little larger. They have not only pontoons, but lots of other types of boats. You know, fishing boats, you know, smaller boats, acres and acres of them. But anyway, hauling boats sometimes is kind of tricky. You know, I've had a tarp blow off, not one of my tarps, but they wrap these boats in plastic. You know, they're already wrapped here, and I've had one of those blow off. I've had the wood shift out from under them. You know, they're kind of troublesome, but anyway, we'll see what happens. But back to the trainer truck. You know, it's just, you got to prepare yourself to get through it. Try to get along with your trainer and learn as much as you can. You know, it's as I remember it, you know, it's you know, it's kind of nervous starting out if you've never driven one of these things, which I had not. You know, so just getting out in the road and driving and getting used to the differences in the loads. You know, you know, driving a loaded trailer with the weight versus an empty trailer. One of the first trips I took with my trainer, we went over into North Carolina and then into South Carolina. You know, a lot of hilly terrain, and that was a learning experience. You know, getting up and down those big hills over there with you know, a weighted trailer. You know, the slowness of creeping up the hill, and then the controlling the speed coming down the hill. So I remember that. And I think the first night we actually stayed out at I think we were near Ghent, Kentucky, at a Love's, as I remember. It was the first or second night we'd been out, and you know, it was about 10:30 at night. We had just kind of gotten in the bunks trying to go to sleep, and all of a sudden we felt this kind of something ran into us, you know. So we got this jolt, and we both were like, "What was that?" And so he jumped out of the bunk and looked out the window, and this other driver was trying to back in beside us, and he had hit the corner of our trailer with his trailer, you know. this is back to your training where you get out and look, you know, and make sure you're going in right. Obviously he didn't do that, but anyway, so we had to call that in and wait for a repair guy to come out. It wasn't a big deal, but he had to replace, you know, the light, the marker light on the corner, and I don't know, wasn't much beyond that. I think the trailer had a dent in it, but it wasn't something that was going to make it useless. So that was an experience. And while we were out there talking to this driver, you know, and waiting on the sheriff, I think, you know, to come and make an accident report, you know, I was explaining, you know, that I was new, just started training, and this is a guy that had been trucking a long time, evidently, and he was like, you know, what made you want to do flatbed? I'm like, well, you know, I just thought, you know, Mavericks, they're close to my house, just thought, you know, good company, just, you know, thought I'd like doing it, you know, whatever. And he was like, man, that's some dirty, nasty crap. Except he didn't say crap, which me and my trainer, we still like to recall that story and laugh about that sometime. But anyway, that guy had to pay for the damage. You know, Maverick worked it out with him. But that was an interesting thing. You know, it's just, you know, it's only, you got to remember, you know, it's only for 2 or 3 weeks. I think when I was going through training, it was a minimum of 3 weeks. I think now they've changed it, because they've changed the training program up a little bit from the trainer perspective. So from what I hear, you know, a lot of guys are doing it in 2 weeks, but it kind of depends on you. Unless they've changed it, you know, you and your trainer have to, you know, there are certain things you have to cover, and he's responsible for kind of grading that out for you and submitting that you've covered everything, but you have to sign off on it too. And before you leave the trainer truck, you both have to agree, you know, that you've covered everything and that you're comfortable and ready to move on. So, you know, make sure you are. And then let's see. But yeah, it's a short thing, you know. It's just something you got to get through. Hopefully you and your trainer get along and you have a good time while you're doing it. My trainer, you know, he was a younger guy. I think at the time he was about 31 years old. So I think he got a kick out of, he let me run the radio for the most part, you know, so he got a kick out of me, you know, always listening to classic rock mostly. And he said I must have listened to every classic rock song that was ever recorded. And then we had fun with politics. You know, he was not a very political person, and I like politics, and so we had some fun listening to political radio and talking about stuff. And you know, we're still, you know, we're friends now. He calls me 2 or 3 times a week, or vice versa, and we talk, and I still call him and ask him things, which you know, you'll want to do that too. You know, you'll want to keep contact with your trainer, because you'll need someone to call and ask. Like just today, coming into this place, I had missed a call from my trainer. His name's Robert. I had missed a call from him, and while I was getting unloaded earlier, so I called him back, and you know, he was just trying to kill some time. He was driving near Birmingham, I think, and I was on the way to this place, which I'd never been to before, so I asked him about it, and he kind of told me, yeah, here's how you get into there, and you know, which is helpful. You know, it's helpful to have somebody to talk to that's been, you know, it's been doing this and been to most of these places that we deliver and pick up to. You know, if you've driven for Maverick for very long, you know, a lot of these places, you know, you go to over and over, you start to become familiar with things. So you know, it's good to keep that relationship, so you have someone you can talk to when you need something. So yeah, we still talk every, you know, 2 or 3 times a week. Sometimes it's about something useful, sometimes it's not. but we keep in touch. But you know, it's you know, learn, ask questions. You'll practice your securements. You know, all the stuff you learned in training, you'll be doing on real loads. You probably won't cover all the loads you'd like to. In fact, when I was on a trainer truck, we had gone through almost the whole 3-week period and never got a coil, you know, which is one of the primary things we haul. But we had just not been assigned a load, you know, picking up a coil. We had some palletized coils, you know, that out of the sky kind of things, but they're different. We didn't have any coils, you know, that were, you know, your typical big 48,000 pound steel coil, you know. So my trainer actually asked the fleet manager at one point, hey man, can you try to get us a load picking up a coil? You know, we haven't done one of those, and he kind of needs to learn, you know, the securements on those. And so during that final week, I think we did get a coil. Yeah, you know, it's just learning time. Just learning time. It's not the funnest thing in the world, you know, two people having to live in this little tight space here, but it's not that bad, you know. Just try to have some fun with it and learn, and it's just a step closer to getting you where you want to be and getting your own truck assigned and hitting the road. So that's it for now. The line's moving up a little bit, so maybe I'll have some more on this later.